Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Density Club. Today we have a very special outdoor moon viewing edition of Density Club meeting. How are you all doing today on this fine moon festival day? Space monkey. Space monkey times 2. Hello, Cuckoo. Hello, Remus. Hey, now what's up? Hello, Shadow. Hello, welcome. Not too much, except for maybe the moon. Is the moon up for you yet? Monkey's pretty excited about the moon festival. I may have bought too many mooncakes. Just kidding. No such thing as too many mooncakes. Hello from the moon. Hello, Professor Pop. From the moon. Moon monkey. Something seems different. Did you do something with your hair now? No, nothing too different. But my hair does have this sort of round odango shape, doesn't it? Reminds you of something else, kind of round, doesn't it? Same brain cell, Remus. Yeah. Great minds think alike. I brewed some sweet tea for this. That's awesome, Remus. That's awesome. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Sweet tea, huh? That's nice. Tea is very good for Moon Festival. I think you can see I have my thermos here, so I can drink tea. The tea club has a singular brain cell that we pass around. Ah, sharing is caring after all. When the moon hits your eye like a big mooncake pie, that's a monkey. Huh? That's a monkey. I like it. We must love and treasure a tea club brain cell. 5 spoonfuls of sugar. Wow! In one cup or in one carafe? I don't think I have ever made sweet tea refers to Western style sweet tea, right? I'm not sure if it's like an iced tea, right? I'm not sure if I've ever made, or I think I've had some Western style sweet tea, but I don't think I've ever made it myself. This background places me. Hello, Ryder. Hello, welcome. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed our moon viewing. How do you say? Vantage point for today. So, as usual, Monkey picked up a bunch of mooncakes for eating. I expect them to last the whole week. Has anyone in chat had mooncake? Actually, I remember last year not too many people had. The whole thing, I want to make it both a drink and a dessert. Oh, interesting. That makes sense. It's just really sweet iced Western tea. That makes sense. That makes sense. You know, I never quite understood why, but I've noticed that Western iced tea and like Chinese iced tea, both sweet. I've had both. They taste different. I don't know what the difference is. Monkey doesn't make a lot of iced tea because iced tea sounds like it takes a lot of work. You gotta cool the tea down. Mostly I make, if it's gonna be iced, I make cold brew, like cold brew mugicha. But I'm never quite sure why they taste different. Very Monica-esque as well. It is a little Monica-esque, isn't it? Time to chat with Monkey. You cannot leave. If you leave, then Monkey will cease to exist. And Monkey wants to keep existing, okay? So you gotta keep talking to Monkey. If you stop talking to Monkey, Monkey will fade from existence. And Monkey doesn't want that. Something like that? Keep you emotionally hostage? Anya. I've heard of mooncakes, but I've never eaten one. They're very good, they're very good. They are... the best way to describe it is... It depends a little bit on what you have had experience with, actually, in your life. Because the inside, if you know red bean, you can think of it as being filled with like a thick red bean paste, often, or other types of pastes as well. One of my favorites is White Lotus, or I recently tried one with mixed nuts and almond. Almond was really good. I had never tried that one before. So there's all sorts of flavors, and it's like it's a thick paste on the inside. So it's kind of how you say. What's a good thing to compare it to? Marzipan? It's a little bit like marzipan if you had marzipan in terms of texture. Oftentimes, as you can see here, a couple of these that have been cut open, you can see they have a little round thing on the inside, right? That is a salted preserved duck egg yolk. And so it's a little salty. It's salty and a little savory. And it's round because it represents the moon. It's considered very lucky too. So everyone wants to have a little bit in their piece. Except maybe baby monkeys. When I was a baby monkey, I just wanted more of the sweet filling. I did not want anything savory in my dessert. Nowadays, I've started to appreciate it more because it balances the intense sweetness of the paste. It goes well together, actually. It's very tasty. So the egg yolk is a preserved egg yolk, so it's hardened, kind of like almost like the texture of a hard-boiled egg yolk. Except I don't think it's boiled. I think it's just you might almost say pickled, but it's not sour. Preserved in salt. Dehydrated. And so it's a little crumbly, like a hard-boiled egg yolk can be that way too. And then around the outside, there is a thin pastry coating. You can see how it's cut. You can see the pastry is pretty thin. And this is it's a little bit cakey, but also can be a little bit flaky. Depends. They also have snow mooncakes these days, they call them, with more of like a soft white outside. But I like the traditional one. It's kind of egg wash on top, so you get nice browning. And on top you can see it's often, you could say stamped, embossed, with designs, lucky words and stuff. Mooncakes, they come in kind of two general sizes. There are the mini mooncakes, which are small enough that they're individual portion, you can just eat one yourself. And then there's the traditional mooncake that is so big, you have to cut it up so you can share it. Like these here, you gotta cut it up. Which is why actually a good mooncake, like that one over there, will have the egg yolk in the middle so that everyone gets a little bit. In fact, sometimes they have mooncakes where... So the egg yolks are very popular because they're lucky and they're tasty, right? So they will often make mooncakes where you can actually have multiple yolks. They make some without too, for like baby monkey who didn't want salty things in my dessert. But they also, you can have 2 egg yolks or more sometimes. If you want to be really extravagant. As you can tell, these are not considered quite the healthiest thing out there. But that's okay. It's a holiday. You can gorge yourself on mooncakes. Apparently in Hong Kong, they make a special kind of savory mooncake for people who don't like the sweet, with like mixed nuts and preserved pork and stuff. I tried that. It's not bad. It's not bad. But I like the sweets. And that's why it goes well with tea too. Oh boy, this was a long explanation. Let me see if I can catch back up. Speaking of Monica, I'm playing the game that Remus suggested. Oh, I see. The one that Remus suggested. I'm trying to remember which one Remus suggested that was related to Monica. I feel like I'm nearing the end any click now. It's been quite the experience. I want to thank Remus for the recommendation. Oh, thank you, Remus, thank you. Remus makes some good recommendations, huh? There's definitely still some in my queue where I'm like, oh, I need to play that. We'll get to it. My quest to find mooncakes continues. My recommendation is, this time of year specifically, you'll be able to find mooncakes rather easily if you have a Chinese grocery of any kind nearby to where you are. I was recently reminded that Chinese groceries especially tend to stock up on mooncakes around this time for good reason. And the kinds you can get in a grocery are not too bad. They're pretty good. If you're lucky enough to live near an area with a lot of Chinese diaspora, you may be able to find bakeries that actually make mooncakes. It's actually traditional for Chinese bakeries around this time of year, in moon season, mooncake season, mid-autumn is what it's called. I know it's not mid-autumn by Gregorian standards, but it's mid-autumn by Chinese standards. Right around the equinox, which I think is tomorrow. They will have switched all of their production solely to mooncakes. Because the Moon Festival is a pretty big deal. Apparently, they make a lot of money from mooncake sales. So, depending on where you are, you might be able to find a Chinese bakery that's selling mooncakes. I know outside of China, they may not switch over to only doing 100% mooncakes all the time for like the month, but they might have some. They might have some. I've seen a few. And those can be very nice. So yeah, you might have to go out of your way if you want to try it. I don't know of any Western groceries or anything like that that tends to stock mooncakes, but any Chinese grocer should have it. And depending on where you are, your generally Asian groceries might have it as well. If you don't have a Chinese grocery, for example, if like all of your Asian grocery supply comes from one place, then they tend to be like, okay, we may be Korean, but we're helping out our Chinese community as well, sort of feel. Southern sweet tea is very unique, yes. You're our expert, Professor Paul. No problem, Ryder. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. And I can't eat most mooncakes, but they look delicious. Oh, is that so? Is that so, Professor Paul? Is there something in the mooncake that you're allergic to or something? Monkey, no. I'm sorry, Cuckoo, I'm sorry. It's okay. Monkey's still here. You heard it, lads. No leaving. No leave. Stick around, monkey, forever. Got it. Bold of now to assume I'd leave. Oh. Now monkey's wondering if monkey should be scared. Turns out you're all always around monkey and monkey didn't realize. Monkey thinks, yeah. Tea time is over and monkey's gonna go relax. No more tea club members around, unfortunately. But secretly, a small shatter is peeking. Our life for the monkey, oh no. No. Your life is important, it's okay. You don't have to give your life to the monkey. So I will appreciate it and treasure it and put it on my mantelpiece. Oops. Oish. But no. Just monkey. Just monkey. Moon egg. Yeah. I always like the symbolism of it. In Chinese culture in general, round things, spherical or circles and things like that, are very lucky. The moon being one of those things. That's partially why the moon festival happens during the full moon. It's a nice big round moon. I don't know if any of you have seen the moon recently or right now, depending on how dark it is where you are right now. But it's so big. So big. Nice and round. Monkey wants to take a bite. No, don't eat the moon. Don't eat the moon. Eat the mooncakes instead. Okay. Hi, monkey. Apologies. I was drawing and forgot of here. Oh, hello, Inky. No problem. Welcome. It's good to see you. How you doing? You're in space. No, we are simply moon viewing. We don't worry about where monkey is. Monkey is simply in a place where you can get a good view of the moon. Okay, maybe monkey is able to fly. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Do moon pies count as mooncakes? What are moon pies, Remus? I don't know. I don't know about that. What's a moon pie? I don't play VNs often, but man, under special conditions, they can be very nice. Oh, if Doki Doki was actually just a simple romance, I would not be so much into it. Same applies to this one. Makes sense, makes sense. Me too, I think. Me too. Back in the day, I had some interest in your typical romance VNs. They're kind of fun. But nowadays, I'm less interested. I like the more interesting plots. Which I guess you could say about Monkey's taste in stories in general. I used to read a lot of shoujo and other things that are very narrowly focused around things like your typical shoujo romance stories. I still like shoujo and I still like romance stories, but they gotta have some really nice element to them that sets them apart from the others, I guess. But maybe that's just a product of growing up and consuming more media. You always like to see new things, right? What words are considered lucky for cakes? That's a good question, Professor Paul. I'm not an expert on this one. I don't know too much. I don't know if there are words that are specifically lucky for cakes either. If you look at the ones I have here, the one on the far right doesn't appear to have any words on it. That looks like it's just a design. The second from the right says autumn. The one right here below me is like it's a form of luck. How do you say it? Let me see if I can get that for you. How does this go? Oops. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, there we go. This one is a very common good luck character, actually. Can I find how to pronounce it? It's very common because it means double happiness. Or rather, it's written like double happiness. How do you pronounce this? Oops. Yo. Come on. You can do it. There we go. She. So she means double happiness because as you see, there are two characters that compose one character, and each character on its own means happiness. So I guess it's called double happiness. It's a symbol of good luck. You often see it at marriages, so it's kind of funny to see it on a mooncake, to be honest. Over there on the left, you have... your left. Stage left. I don't know if that's actually a character either, because it's kind of made itself all wiggly. I don't think we have such wiggly characters in Chinese. But sometimes when you're writing things to be fancy, you make them all wiggly and then they're impossible to read. So I'm not sure about that one. Sometimes, actually, I've had mooncakes that the stamp tells you the bakery that it's from, as well as the flavor. So you make sure you're eating the right one. say the same about books. Not a reader, but I really want to be. Just hard to know what book is for me. I know what you mean, Monkey, when I was a baby, my family was really good at finding books that I would enjoy. And so I always relied on their recommendations for what to read. And then, when I was no longer close to most of my family, I was like, oh no, what do I read now? How do I even know? They say don't judge a book by its cover, so what do I do? Games have gameplay and trailers, movies too. It's hard to trailer a book. Often reading the summary of the book, either on the back of the book, or if you're looking online in the book's description, sometimes can be helpful, but those are generally not written by the authors themselves, which makes it difficult because then you don't know if you'll like it or not, right? Kind of what helps me the most is kind of reading the summary just to get an idea of the subject matter of the book, and then reading the first few pages. That'll let you know if you like the author's writing style, the pacing, that sort of thing. That's what I've been trying to do. It's really helpful when you have a library nearby, because then you can just pull random books from the shelf. Check, is this for me? No, put it back. Check, is this for me? No. Check, oh, this seems alright. We'll give it a try. Low commitment. Nowadays, if you like ebooks, a lot of ebook stores, including like Amazon Kindle, will allow you to preview a sample of the book, read the first few pages, just like if you were browsing in a bookstore. Though one of my siblings prefers, rather than the first few pages, they like to read the last few pages. They want to know if they're gonna like the ending or not before they decide to read the book. But yeah, probably 90% of the books I've read so far is, well, no, not 90%. Maybe less than that. A lot of the books so far are recommendations. I'm just like, hey bro, give me a book recommendation. Hey sis, give me a book recommendation. But recently, so Monkey kind of, I found out a long time ago, I guess, that I'm into the genre of sci-fi and fantasy. It's a very, very wide genre, but it's a good one. And sci-fi fantasy have their own awards, yearly awards, like the Hugo Award and the Nebula Award. And so recently, my brother and I were going through the list of the awards and just being like, oh, that sounds interesting. And just click on one of them on Wikipedia, read the intro. Hope there's no spoilers. And go, yeah, that sounds like my kind of book. Found some that way. That's how I started reading the Murderbot Diaries series. It is so good. It is so good. Probably my number one novel right now, or novel series right now, is the Murderbot Diaries. They're just a really fun read, which is kind of what Monkey needs right now. I need something that is relaxing and has good feeling, but still interesting, and kind of feels like monkey kind of monkey kind of people. Monkey kind of people telling a fun, interesting story. Somehow it touches on some subject matters that could be very dark, and yet it keeps it very light. And I really appreciate that. That's what I've been enjoying recently. Where was I? Funky's so behind. The cake has raw egg yolk inside. You sure it's tasty? You don't like raw egg yolk, Hiki? It's very good. Most Western cakes have egg in it, but I guess not as a whole. This is a salted egg yolk, actually. I think it's raw. I think so. Wait. Let me look that up before I tell you the wrong things. Is it raw? I don't know. Also, the other thing is something considered raw even after you preserve it in salt? Like pickles are preserved? Are they still raw? Even though it's not heat applied, but let's see. Salted egg yolk. How to make? Maybe this? Salted duck eggs. Salted duck eggs. Egg. You can buy raw salted duck eggs, crack the eggs open and take out the yolks. Salted duck eggs. Yeah, okay, salted duck eggs are... I think they are preserved in salt, dehydrated in salt. Yeah, that's what they are. Okay. Yes, so technically raw, but they have been dehydrated in salt, I believe. Yes. This is my understanding. Been a while since we heard the music playlist. It's true. Been a while since we had a stream where there wasn't game music in the background. I was thinking that myself, actually. It's pretty nice. Comic books and visual novels have visuals that can be showcased, so you can use those. But regular books don't have those, so you can all you can really do is just a summary. Is that what you mean? You can just rely on the summary. It's true. Coming to think of it, comic books and visual novels. How much does the visuals play into whether or not you read one? Whether or not you enjoy reading one? I think for Monkey... Excuse me. For Monkey, the art style comes second to the story, but maybe storytelling comes first, if that makes sense. No, I think it's story, and then storytelling, and then art style, in some ways. Storytelling being like how they block out the panels, and how they pace it, and sort of the camera direction, if that makes sense. Kind of like if we're talking about a movie, the direction of the movie, the direction of the arts and stuff. The art style itself, there are definitely art styles that I enjoy more than others, but if there's a really good story and it's told really well, I'll probably read it no matter what art style it is. Kind of reminds me of One Punch Man. I've never actually read One Punch Man, but I know about it, and I've seen some of the pages from the original webcomic. This artist actually has a really good sense of direction and story and humor and everything. They did a really good job, and so it's no wonder that it took off. Even though they themselves are not so sure about their own art style. As made obvious by the fact that they're how you say, oops, I'm sorry, I keep hitting the mic today. As evidenced by the fact that they had the entire story redrawn. But most of the panels remained the same because their storytelling was still on point. They still knew what they were doing with the storytelling. They just didn't quite have the art down. The problem is having no idea where to even start. I imagine this is what someone that never played a game before would feel, getting into video games. How does one know where to start? Ah, that's a great comparison, Ryder, because that is one that Monkey can relate to. Monkey's never sure what video games to play either, because I haven't played a lot of video games in my life, and also a lot of the really popular video games are not really my style. So it makes it very hard for Monkey to get into it. In fact, all of the video games that Monkey has really liked have come from recommendations as well, from friends and family who knew Monkey well enough to say, hey, play this game. Sometimes they just gifted it to Monkey and they were like, play this game. And I was like, well, I don't know. I never played a game like this before. Are you sure I'm gonna like it? And then it was Animal Crossing. Or Professor Layton. Oh, I love Professor Layton. So good, so good. So, sometimes it does really help to have someone to get you into it. If you're doing it on your own, it can be tough. The only advice I can give is to Google best free visual novels. That's a good one, that's a good one. You know, nowadays, with the power of the interwebs, it's nice that you can leverage what other people think. Nowadays, though, with all the aggregator sites, sometimes I wish it had more of a human touch. Pardon my idiom. More of a personal touch. In order to feel more like it's actually something that people like, not just something that is being advertised on a list that no one's actually even read. So sometimes I like to go to online communities. Reddit's a great one in some ways because there's so many little subreddits still out there. So sometimes you can get some pretty good recommendations from various subreddits. There are some reading subreddits if I remember correctly, though I can't remember which ones give book recommendations. I think there might be one that's just called Recommend Me a Book or something like that, but it's been a little while. And then of course there are other online communities as well, but depending they can be hard to find. But yeah, visual novels too. Sorry, I was thinking about novels again, but visual novels, video games, comic books and stuff like this. All of these things, I like to look for recommendations from like actual people. But definitely searching best such and such on Google is always a nice place to start. If you know what you're looking for. My way into reading is reading books related to a piece of media I am already aware of and enjoy. Oh! The only book I've read so far was a Death Note side story, for example. Oh! That's fun. Yeah. So recently I've been getting into books that have like sequels and stuff, so that I can read through them all at once. Gives me a lot to read. But many games have books too. Oh! Interesting. Has Monkey? Hello, Iki. I'm sorry, I'm so behind today. Monkey's just having a relaxed day, I guess. Taking a long time to respond to people. I hope y'all don't mind. Now, one What genres are you usually interested in, Ryder? Yeah, that's always a good place to start. I'd start with finding out what genre you enjoy, and just find the best from there. More sane brain cell. You guys are really hitting it off today. Same wavelength. Also, do you remember now? The 21st night of September. Do you remember? The 21st night of September. Oh man. You know... I don't know if any of you saw, but... there's a guy on YouTube who has been making videos for 6 years for the 21st of September. And every year, they just get more and more extravagant. I believe he said that officially this year will be his last year, unfortunately. But I understand. But because of that being the last year, I was like, wow, now I really have to go back and rewatch from the very beginning. And it's very cute, very sweet to see how it went from a really simple, funny YouTube video to what it became this year, some high production, large cast thing. This year's video was a lot of fun, but in some ways, the original is one of the best. In fact, there were a lot of good ones. I recommend y'all looking it up. What was this guy's name? I wonder if I can look it up. Oh, I posted on... I think I retweeted on my Twitter channel, actually. I should be able to find his name here. I'll probably butcher it though, because I don't know much about... African phonemes and how to pronounce. Demi Adeju Yigbe. I apologize. I'm no good at phonemes that are in languages that I don't know. I mean, nobody is, right? And I've never heard it pronounced before, but he's great. He's great. You should go check it out. Funny, the one you recommended is already in top 3 list and it came out this month. Wow! Amazing. Well deserved from what I've played so far. Oh, nice. There was a harvest moon yesterday. It was beautiful. Well, you see, Shatter, actually, interesting thing about the harvest moon. Technically, the harvest moon that the West talks about is the same as the moon festival moon in a way. It is the full moon. It's the full moon. In the mid autumn of well, how is it defined again? It gets tricky because seasons are based on the solar cycles, and moons are clearly based on the lunar cycles, right? And these cycles do not match up, not very cleanly, which is why you have leap months in the Chinese calendar. But I do believe the harvest moon and the full moon for the moon festival are the same moon, and like that's why the equinox is happening tomorrow, I think, technically. It all happens right around the same time, and that's intentional. In fact, I believe Oktoberfest also happens right around this time, leading up into the beginning of October. So, in some ways, the moon festival is a harvest festival, traditionally. I think a lot of cultures, because this is harvest season, celebrate this particular moon. And how do I say? The Chinese calendar. The Chinese calendar is based on China. It's based on China. Especially some of the core regions of China, where China kind of first came from and first grew big. And so, the Moon Festival, and this is a thing that's kind of awkward with time zones in general. The Moon Festival, technically, is both today and yesterday. Because it is on September 21st this year. It's on different days every year because it's on the Chinese calendar. But this year is September 21st. However, considering that Monkey streams very late in the day on September 21st, UTC time 22 hours, so it's already almost not the 21st now, right? So in a lot of places in the world, it's already the 22nd. So you could say that the moon that we're talking about, if we're talking about Chinese time zone, is not tonight, but last night. It makes it very confusing when you have a globalized world. Do you celebrate as close as possible to the actual full moon? Or do you celebrate the actual day, even though the day is different on different sides of the globe? It's very confusing. If you have certain calculators, you can actually see the exact hour or the exact sort of, I guess hour, yeah, that the moon is the most full. But in your time zone, that might be during the day. So that's why I think, depending on how you're calculating and where you are in the world, the moon we're talking about today might also be the moon from yesterday. I hope that wasn't too confusing. Monkey kind of confused myself there. Yeah, but that's why it's so round. And luckily, for normal people watching the moon from the Earth, you can't see too much of a difference between just a day or two. I think, at least. Still very big and round and bright. I'm really into sci-fis with very interesting and thought-provoking concepts and ideas. I'm also easily into anything space-related. Stories in space tend to be exactly my kind. Oh, I see. What good sci-fis in space has Monkey read recently? If you know the author Becky Chambers, she has a series, I forget what the series is called because each book in the series actually has a different name. But a lot of them take place in space. My favorite one of hers actually does not take place in space. Unfortunately. But the first book in the series is something like The Long Way to a Very Angry Planet. Something like that. And it's sort of like a space, like a fun cast makes their way through space. It's kind of that kind of journey thing. Pretty good. Space. What else? Yeah, Monkey actually, interestingly enough, Monkey's not particularly interested in space in particular, so a lot of my sci-fi ends up not in space. But some of it is in space. Hitchhiker's Guide, if you haven't read it yet, is very good. It's a comedy set in space. Yeah. Now, Monkey's favorites recently have been things like Ted Chang's recent short story anthology, Exhalation, has some really, really good short stories in it. Oh, it made me feel like, oh, lots of really fun, interesting ideas. But I don't think any of them were in space. I have to think about that some more. I also like a lot of Ursula K. Le Guin's books. But most of them happen on planets rather than in space. Even if they do involve some amount of space travel. Yes, very beautiful moons. Yeah, beautiful moons. It's fun to look at. Monkey is out of this world. Out of this world. Not bad. How much of H.G. Wells have you read, Ryder? Oh, that's a good one. Monkey has only read one book by H.G. Wells, but it's maybe one of my favorite sci-fi books of all time. I'm actually currently reading it again. Rereading it for like the third time in unabridged form. I read the abridged version quite a lot as a baby monkey. It's called The Time Machine. Monkey really likes that book, and because I've read it so often, it actually makes a really good bedtime book for Monkey because 1, I know I'll enjoy it, and 2, I kind of already know what's going on, so it's very relaxing. You might be interested in Isaac Asimov's stuff, like the Foundation series, right? Ah! Monkey hasn't read Asimov, but I've heard of Asimov. The thing about Asimov, though, is Asimov has a very, style. I'm told that Isaac Asimov is a very dense read. Is that correct? It's not a light read. It's like you sit down and you think, and you kind of like you pour through it. That kind of read, right? And which can be great. You know, Monkey can enjoy those kinds of books quite a lot if I have the time and the right state of mind. Depends what you're looking for. Absolutely nothing. I can look into both these names. Thank you, everyone. That's great. +1 to Asimov. Also, Find Love or Die only came out 5 days ago, the 26th. It really blew up. Oh. Is that the the game you all have been talking about? That's really interesting. That's cool. That's really cool. Maybe Monkey will have to look into it too. As it should, it's a Doki Doki 2.0 in terms of how good it is for me and how much it deserves attention. Oh, good to know. Hello, what's up? Hello, best squid. Oh my goodness, I'm so behind. So I apologize that I don't say hello to people exactly as they come in. Hopefully you're all still around by the time I say hello to you. I'm really far behind, but hello, it's good to see you, best squid. How you doing? Moon pies are a little Debbie snack. We must. I don't understand. Wait, now I'm confused even more. What is a little Debbie snack? Moon pies with a yoo-hoo sounds like my kind of autumn celebration. Monkey out of the loop. Oh what? Moon pies are top tier, can confirm. Okay, Monkey seems to be the only one who has no idea what these are. Monkey's just gonna look this up. One moment, please. Moon pies. Wait a second. Moon pie? This is just choco pie. Choco pie. Do you know choco pie? Choco pie. It's just spelled choco pie. I don't know how else to call it. Choco pie is a classic, not super classic, but like modern classic Asian dessert. It looks the same. It has like two cakey pieces with cream in the middle and then all covered in chocolate. This is choco pie. Wait, did choco pie come from moon pies? What? Okay, Monkey is going to have to look this up. What is going on? Wikipedia, choco pie. Thank you. A choco pie is a snack cake consisting of two small round layers of cake with marshmallow filling and a chocolate covering. The term originated in America. Oh, I did not know that. Oh. But is now also used widely in South Korea, Japan, and its exports, and many other countries as either a brand name or a generic term. Names for similar confections in other places include chocolate marshmallow pie, wagon wheels, the Japanese angel pie, Joss Louis, and moon pie. Wow, today I learned. Oh. Variations of the original go back as far as 1907 in the southern United States. In 1929, Chattanooga Bakery created the moon pie with marshmallow filling and graham crackers for local miners in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Oh. In 1973, a member of the R&D team of the Korean firm Tongyang Confectionery visited a hotel in Georgia, US, and was inspired by the chocolate-coated sweets available in the hotel's restaurant. He returned to South Korea and began experimenting with a chocolate biscuit cake, creating the choco pie, as it is known to Koreans. Wow! I had no idea. I'm down for a choco pie at Moon Festival Day, Moon Festival time. Monkey's a huge fan of chocolate. Incredible. Monkey can't talk. Incredible. Wow. Well, they are round. They are round as well. So, I think it's appropriate. Round foods in general are appropriate. In Japan, they don't have Jongchojie, which is the Mid-Autumn Moon Festival, like the Chinese people do, but they still do Otsukimi around the same time. Like I was saying, similar to the Harvest Moon, which has its own related festivals in the West, Japan has its own festival for this moon in a way. It's not so much a festival as in China. It's not so big, but Otsukimi is like Ohanami, moon viewing. It's just moon viewing parties, which is a huge part actually of the Chinese Moon Festival as well. Which is why we are viewing the moon right now. But Otsukimi, for Otsukimi, Japanese people make Otsukimi dango. So dango are like mochi, but they're a little different. They're not as mochi. They're not as pounded, so they don't have that really stretchy mochi texture. But they're similar. And they tend to be very round, very spherical, And so you make very spherical ones for Otsukimi. Yeah, to represent the moon. Double happiness. Yeah, double happiness. The symbol means marriage. Who of here monkey is getting married to? Oh dear. Then it does not mean marriage. It is associated with marriage because people like to wish people double happiness symbolically for marriage because, as far as I understand, marriage is a contract usually between two people at a time, right? It's a one-to-one connection, and therefore you wish each person in the contract to have happiness. Double happiness. Oh, special stamps for the bakery sounds really cute. Yeah. The way that the mooncake gets stamped is actually they have these special molds. I don't know if you've seen Asian style dessert molds before. They're like blocks and you carve them out. And then you put the stuff inside and then you press it and then it takes that shape. I think you might have that in the West too with certain kinds of cookie cutters, I guess. But instead of cutting, it just smooshes it into shape. And so they're kind of like stamps, but actually it ends up being embossed on the surface. Don't forget to set it to live chat. Oh yes, so you can see while we're talking in real time. Also give money a like. Give monkey the like. To show your support if want though. Thank you, Aniki. Thank you. Yes. Only if you would like. If you would like to. Thank you, Aniki. But yes, live chat is good. At least you'll see each other live, even though monkey will take a little bit of time to catch up to you. I apologize. Hey monkey, happy moon festival. Hello, welcome. Happy moon festival, Isabel. Yesterday I had to walk home in the rain from school. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry to hear it. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. You know, monkey sometimes really enjoys walking in the rain, but you kind of have to be in the right state of mind, right? Sometimes walking in the rain, you're like, why? Why did this have to happen now? But sometimes it can be pleasant. Fantasy gang, rise up. Nice, Shadow, nice. Have you got any good fantasy recommendations? Let's go, sword. More fantasy gang. Sci-fi gang. Hold hands with fantasy gang. Yeah. Hold hands. Together strong. Science Fantasy Alliance. I like it. SFA. Bachi. Nice. Sci Fantasy gang, rise up. Sounds like it's relatively popular, huh? In our little tea club. Nice. I'm a fan. Why rise up, best squid? You already have the high ground. Wait, that sounds like a reference. Is that a reference to something that monkey doesn't know? That sounds like a reference. Eh? Sorcery and Space Alliance. Ah! Sorcery and Space. Cute. For the view. Aha! It is nice to rise up for the view. Looks good from up there, huh? Oh man, it is hot today, by the way. I don't know about the rest of you, but oh, I don't know why today is so hot. Yeah. An appealing art style can certainly catch my attention. Yeah. But stories are what keep me hooked. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I'll see something, I'm like, oh, I want to read that. And then I look at it, I'm like, too bad. And then I put it back down. It's a good way to catch the eye, for sure. But I agree, I'm the same way. The stories are what keep me. I read a few VNs with rather lackluster art, IMO, because the story was wonderful. Yeah. And you know, a lot of times, if you're reading manga, for example, which Monkey reads a lot of, something that starts with really lackluster art but has really good story, it tends to be that they end up running for a very long time, and then in the end, their art gets pretty good. Actually, one example of this is, do y'all know Kaguya-sama, Love is War? Recently got an anime. I guess it's not that recent anymore, but it was really good, and it recently got a second season, actually. And if you read the manga nowadays, you're like, oh, I see. But if you look all the way back to the very beginning, the art style at the very beginning of the manga, you're like, whoa, it's changed so much. You can feel this way a lot about almost any long-running manga that was maybe one of the first that an author made. Oftentimes you can see the art style evolve. But some crazy people have an incredible art style from the very beginning. Like Flying Witch. Like, I don't know what's going on there. The artist for Flying Witch is a genius. I don't know what else to say. But, not very common though. I think you're right. The original One Punch Man webcomic is carried by story and whoa. What? Whoa? Eh? Layout, you mean? Same. Story and fun is always the most important. One thing I do enjoy is unique art style that is still appealing. That's a good one, Remus. Some people have really unique art styles. Have you read the Hoseki no Kuni manga? I feel like it might be something you would enjoy, Remus. It's quite something. It's unique in both art style and story, and even you might say theming. It's actually very heavily based on Buddhist theming and critique. And but I guess you don't have to know that actually to appreciate the story and what it's doing. And it's really unique. It starts out, you think, oh, this is a very interesting and unique world, but I know exactly where this story is going to go. And then you're like, wait, oh, that wasn't expected. Oh, okay, this artist is taking some risks, I see. Well, that's interesting. This might be a lot of fun. But where you end up is like, what? What's gonna happen next? Oh no. So yeah, Hoseki no Kuni, which got an anime. The English title is Land of the Lustrous. I highly recommend, but minor spoiler, it is not a cheerful it is not a cheerful storyline. You may not enjoy it depending on who you are. But you may not realize it until later on. It is a very it's very interesting. It's It's very good though. It's very good. I don't want to give too many spoilers because it's just so good. Brain. Oh. It's a hard balance, but if you can get it in the golden middle, you will be so much better. Yeah, the unique art style and the good story. Oh yes, to mention Hoseki no Kuni, Land of the Lustrous. The reason why it has a unique art style, not so much the reason, the artist has a unique art style, but apparently the artist originally studied architecture. And their art style is not very much similar to your typical manga art styles at all. It's very unique. It's just really good, okay? It actually uses a lot of black and whites as well. Very non-conventional. Lots of black and white. Not so much screen tones. Very stark-looking images. It's like one of those books where you can flip open to any page and you're like, wow, that is an art piece I would put on my wall. It's good stuff, Story for me is essential. The art can be lacking, but if the story is good, I'm completely pleased. Yeah, exactly, Cuckoo, exactly. I know what you mean. Aggregator sites have so much of the same stuff on the front page. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like they're copying off each other and just trying to use SEO to get to the top so they get more clicks. It's an interesting world we live in these days. Hopefully things will figure themselves out, but it's an interesting world. I've been reading DB fan comics lately, and some are quite good. DB Dragon Ball? The fact that they are clearly drawn by people without either the experience or the resources of Toriyama doesn't bother me. Yeah. It's like if you're good at the storytelling or blocking or something, you know, then it'll be good. There's this one website that'll ask you your top 3 favorite authors, and they'll recommend another author based on those. Oh, that's fun. That's nice. Maybe Monkey should try that out. Unfortunately for me, they recommended my 4th favorite. Well, it sounds like it works, Remus. Sounds like it works. May I ask who your top 4 authors are? For Monkey, I may have mentioned this a lot before, but Monkey's very bad at keeping track of things like artists and creators and authors and stuff like that. And so for the longest time, Monkey wasn't sure who my favorite authors were. There were a few here and there that would crop up as authors that Monkey really liked. But it was hard to pin down. And some of them now used to be my favorite authors, but I've kind of like fallen out of that stage in my life, right? Like I liked Robert Cormier for a really long time, but I think I'm done with that genre for now. So now if I were to put in 3 authors, who would I put? Ursula K. Le Guin, who I mentioned, is very good. I liked Heinlein, but I only read one of his books, and then the other ones. The thing about Heinlein is he kind of changes a lot between his different books. His thoughts and ideas are very different, and so sometimes it's like, well, I liked one of his books, but I'm not sure I'll like the other ones. So I don't think I can put Heinlein, but I can probably put Ted Chiang. Nowadays, Ted Chiang's first short story anthology I read, they were kind of like, for me, hit or miss, but they were all decent. And I really liked his novella, Story of Your Life, that was what got me into him in the first place. That one is a masterpiece. A real masterpiece. They sold the rights for it in an adaptation form for The Arrival, but it does not do it justice at all. They more or less just took a few ideas from the novella and put it into the movie, rather than actually making an adaptation, which is, I think maybe even why they changed the title, because it wasn't meant to be an adaptation per se. But the novella is so good. The Arrival was like okay, not really a classic, not very memorable, but Story of Your Life, so good, so good. If you like interesting stories that combine philosophy and psychology and science and linguistics and physics and a lot of different things actually, along with very human feelings as well. It's good stuff and it's very interesting, very novel ideas. And his most recent anthology, like I mentioned, the Exhalation, those were all, every one of them hit for me. Very fun explorations of various ideas. And I like the author's notes too, because he talks a little bit about the ideas he's exploring. But in order to really fully talk about them, it would take much longer than he has in his author's notes, I think. Because as you're reading through, if there are like certain scientific concepts you're familiar with, sometimes you'll be like, oh, this is that, and this is that. And you'll be like, oh. It's a lot of fun as a science geek to read his stuff. And they're also really well written. So that would be Ursula K. Le Guin and Ted Chiang. But for a third one, third author, I'm not really sure. I am enjoying Murderbot Diaries quite a lot. But I haven't read anything else by Martha Wells yet, so I'm not sure if I'm simply enjoying it because I enjoy that particular series and the tone of that particular series, or because I prefer her works in general. So we're gonna have to see about that one. Anya? We stand relaxed days here. That's good, Ryder, that's good. Because Monkey is only getting more and more behind. But I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty relaxed. It's nice. It's nice chatting, even if I apologize, I'm so far behind. 22 minutes behind is alright. Take your time. This is a tea club after all. We chill. Oh, thank you, Ahiki. 22 minutes. Unfortunately, I think we've broached that. We might have doubled that already by this point. By the time I caught up to your comment, Ahiki, I hope you're still... I hope you're still alright with the amount of delay we're dealing with here. A relaxed monkey is a good monkey. Oh, thank you, Shatter. No rush today. It isn't allowed. Oh, no rushing allowed. Slow monkeys only. I feel like commenting sometimes, but I don't want to add to the queue. Oh no, I'm sorry, Cuckoo. I'm sorry it makes you feel that way. Please do comment though, I always love seeing your comments. I appreciate your comments in the queue. I will have to try to catch up eventually. I will try not to be too slow. But it's comments by you and everyone else that makes this fun for me, even if I am behind. monkeynoises.mp3 7 gigabytes. You know, I always thought it'd be a little funny. I always thought it'd be a little funny if someone did one of those compilation videos, you know, where they're like, all monkey noises from such and such. They just cut together all of monkey's noises. I don't do it consciously, but I have been told I make a lot of funny noises. Wait, the Chinese calendar is based in China? Mind blown. Yeah. What a plot twist. Never saw that one coming. Me neither, Ryder. You know, it was a real big shock when that came out. Hey Monkey, how are you? Hope you're doing good. Hello, Penguin Bro! I have to apologize again for being so far behind that I didn't greet you for such a long time since you arrived, but I am doing well. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well too. I need that file, Ehiki. If you have it, Ehiki, feel free to share with the tea. Excuse me. Feel free to share with the tea club. Hitchhiker's Guide is great. Yeah. I agree, Vesquid. You know, Hitchhiker's Guide. Hitchhiker's Guide, I knew about it for a very, very long time because one of my papas is a big sci-fi fan actually, and he always was telling me how great Hitchhiker's Guide is. Every once in a while, he'd even like quote a joke from it or something like that. And so, but here's the thing. If your papa is the one telling you the jokes, that automatically makes them automatic dad jokes, right? Automatically dad jokes. And so Monkey was like, so you're telling me it's a book full of dad jokes. Yeah, okay. I'm glad there's a book that you enjoy. And so Monkey did not read it for a very long time. It actually was just last year that I finally was like, you know what? I give it a try. So many people who are not Monkey's papa also like this book and recommend it. I cannot let the bias of it being one of my papa's favorite books prevent me from enjoying this book. So I finally decided to sit down and read it. And you know what? I understand. I understand now, Monkey Papa. It's a good book. I apologize for insulting your sense of humor. It's a good book. It's a lot of fun. I really need help with Hitchhiker's Guide because a friend recommended. I was hyped by the premise, gave it a whirl, couldn't get past the intro. It took so long to get to any sort of point that I just gave up on it. They would focus too much on detailing the house the protagonist was in, for example, and it really felt like nothing was happening at the end. Does it dramatically change? Ah! I see, Ryder, I see. So, the thing about Hitchhiker's Guide is you need to take it from a different point of view, a different sort of, how you say, approach. It is an adventure story, and there is an adventure in it, so it does have that sort of interesting plot going on. However, in my opinion, it should not be read like an adventure story. You're not reading it in order to follow along what happens in this crazy adventure, right? You are in a way, but it's almost like the adventure is the backdrop. And what you're really reading it for is the comedy. And one thing about the comedy is it's kind of, how you say, British radio show comedy? In fact, the original Hitchhiker's Guide, if I remember correctly, was written as a radio talk show. And it's just really funny. But you have to have the right style of humor to understand what when they're making a joke. British humor can be confusing like that if you don't know whether or not they're making a joke. And it's not for everyone, obviously, but if you come at it as sort of just like fun reading along with the jokes, then it starts to make sense. In my opinion, the book does not try to spend a long time describing things, anything in particular, just for the sake of creating an image in your mind. It's not that they focus on describing things for creating an image. They focus on describing things to create humor. Basically, every sentence in the book is like either a punchline or a lead up to a punchline, or even contains multiple punchlines. And so you kind of have to read it with that mentality. If it sounds like they're spending a really long time describing the house, most likely they're actually making some sort of subtle joke about the house in the way that they're describing it. I don't exactly remember much house description in the beginning, but the whole idea is the ridiculousness of the situation. Like for me... Oh, and also, the writing itself tells some jokes here and there too, not just situational jokes. One of the jokes early on that really gets to me, that's a situational joke, and so it's not too much of a spoiler. I don't want to give away the jokes that are like linguistic jokes, because those gotta hit you when they hit you, you know? Otherwise, you end up sounding like Monkey Papa saying, you know, ha ha ha, isn't that a funny joke? And I'm like, yeah, okay. But one thing that is an incredibly funny situation to me is that the protagonist, you're not supposed to see them as cool or anything like that. or even like not like they're just goofy in sort of a British humor sort of way. And so the image that really gets to me is the protagonist going out and flopping down, just lying down in the mud in front of his house and being like, I'm not gonna move. I'm not moving. And you're like, what person just does this? Would a person really just go out there and lie on the ground in front of their house like that? But for him, he acts like, yeah, this is what I'm doing now. I don't know. It's a funny image to me. Especially the way they describe it and how it fits in with the rest of the situation. So you kind of gotta take it from that point of view, right? If you're just taking it from a story point of view, like following along with what's happening and waiting for the adventure to get on, then you'll miss the joke that, like, it's kind of hilariously silly and almost surreal that this guy is just lying outside in the mud outside of his house, talking to this other guy saying, nope, I'm not gonna move, I must stay right here. It's a little absurd, I think is the word. A lot of the humor is like absurd humor. Or unexpected humor. Like, you don't expect the guy to go out there and lie down in front of his house. That's not expected at all. And so, I guess that's how I would say... That's how I would say you need to read it if you want to enjoy it. But if it's just not your style of humor, that's another thing too. But I think of it as... rather than a sci-fi adventure book, it's a sci-fi comedy book. That's my recommendation. Monkey likes Time Machine. Let's go. Ah, you like it too, Professor Paul. That's great. That's great. I love Time Machine. I love it. I first read it as an abridged version as a baby monkey, One of my dad's he used to buy me a lot of books that are abridged classics, I think. I think that's actually what they were called. There's a series, I think, called Abridged Classics, and they would take classic books like The Time Machine. They would abridge them and kind of put them in an accessible format for younger audiences. And including they would have pictures every so often within the book. Kind of like a how you say, a light novel, I guess. With direct quotations from the original works as well. And they made these books very accessible. And so I read The Time Machine as an abridged classic a long time ago, and I loved it. I had also read, I think I read Robin Hood as an abridged classic. I don't remember which other ones I had right now. My favorite was The Time Machine, so I read it many times. And then, eventually, because I liked it so much, of course I wanted to read the original, right? I remember when I was a baby monkey in the monkey equivalent of elementary school, they asked us to do a book report on I don't know, one of our favorite books or something. And I was like, Time Machine. I'm gonna do a book report on the Time Machine. So I read the Time Machine, and our book report, because it was elementary school, it was more like a book project. And so the project was to make a travel brochure. Make a travel brochure, and I was like, Time Machine, 100%. This is perfect. Synergy. Time Machine is about travel. It's a travel brochure. I'm gonna make a travel brochure about the Time Machine. And so I got to show off. I'm like, oh, here's the monuments you can go look at in the year 300,000 something. These are the people that you're going to meet, and just don't stay out too late. Be careful of just be careful. That sort of thing. It was a lot of fun. I still remember. I don't know if I still have that book project anywhere. I hope so. I don't know though. What? Glancing over, I think I just saw... Barbie, is that you? Did you just enter? I am extremely behind in the chat, so unfortunately... Unfortunately, I've been missing a lot of people entering, but I happened to glance over and I see a bunch of people saying your name. So hello, welcome. I will catch up soon, I promise. Well, I can't promise that, actually. Monkey can't promise. I am very far behind. I will catch up eventually. Monkey soon TM. Oh. Alright, where was I? He is. You can tell that Asimov enjoys history books. Aha! Gotcha. Okay, that's a good way of putting it, Remus, actually. I don't know much about Asimov other than that he's a very dense read. But when you put it that way, I feel like I can better understand what to expect out of his work. History books, huh? Also with the VM, it's made by one person, Stardew style. Ah, inspiring. It really does not look or sound like it, just like Stardew. I would recommend, if you're okay with Loki, then this should be fine. Oh, I see. I'll have to check it out, Ryder. Oh, Choco Pie does look very similar, huh? Yeah! The moment I looked it up, I was like, hold on. I know what this is. Huh. TIL about Choco Pie. Yeah, TIL chocolate pie for Remus, TIL moon pie for Monkey. The hidden choco moon pie lore has been revealed. Two cookies/cake with cream in the middle sounds like something the whole world would have various versions of. You know, Professor Paul, that's an interesting thought. Because cookies/cakes, as well as cream, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, as far as I understand, global culinary, is very European. First off, because milk is something that humans only developed resistance to, tolerance for, in large part in Europe, if I understand correctly. There is some amount of milk tolerance around the world, adult milk tolerance, but primarily just Europe. Everywhere else has like 60% or less milk tolerance in the population. Mostly less. Maybe closer to 30% on average. And so milk was not a very common food anywhere outside of Europe. People aren't even really sure why that happened. It just kind of happened. And so things like cream and stuff didn't end up being very popular either. And similarly, I suppose, I think cakes are cakes based on bread. I don't know. Cakes don't have milk in them, do they? But either way, as a style of dessert, cakes and cookies, I'm not sure how much I've seen them in traditional cuisine outside of Europe. Cookies more so. Cookies, I think maybe. I'm trying to remember honestly. But when I think cookies and cake, I think European cuisine. Maybe I'm missing something, but either way, both of these ingredients seem like something that developed in Europe. However, because of global trade, which did start a long time ago before the modern globalization era, you do still get these things being popular in other places. For example, castella cake, castella, and Baumkuchen are both very popular in Japan. Though I think those might have been Meiji era. But even further back, there might have been more exchange of these sorts of things. And so, it does seem like it would make sense that once you have acquired both cookies/cakes, like cookie-shaped cakes, cookie-sized cakes, and cream, if your population is able to consume the cream, enough of your population, I guess, then it would make sense. I wonder actually, cream desserts in Asia and other places outside of Europe, I guess people just deal with it. That's what Monkey does. I'm pretty sure that genetically Monkey probably is somewhat lactose intolerant. But if you've been having milk products ever since you were a baby, sometimes you can retain some of your lactose tolerance from being a baby into adulthood. And on top of that, lactose tolerance is not terrible for everyone. There's a real spectrum. So Monkey just deals with it, I think. Monkey doesn't pay enough attention to what I eat to know for sure, but I think I just deal with it. All pies have a common ancestor then? All pies? All pies? I don't know. All pies. How do you define a pie anyways? Is a pie just a really big tart? Why is a moon pie called a pie? It doesn't seem very pie-like to me now that you mention it. It's kind of more like a More like a cake that's shaped like a sandwich. I wonder. Today I learned, she says. Something tells me Tia should learn something new every day, giving her passionate curiosity. I don't know about that, Ryder. I appreciate that though. I probably do learn something new every day, but I think everyone learns something new every day. The question is whether or not you take note of it, right? Like, I learned today that it is very hot, and what it feels like to be very hot. It's not that I've never been hot before, but I've learned what it feels like to be hot right now in this particular situation. In fact, I wonder if this is the hottest I have ever been while streaming. Oh dear. Luckily, I have plenty of fluids. And plenty of mooncakes. That won't cool you down though. Incredible monkey. Monkey sometimes can't talk very well, as you may have noticed. Incredible. Think I should be paying more attention in chat. I usually just hear monkey talk as a radio/podcast. That's alright too, Ehiki. I think that's quite nice. I appreciate both the people who like to chat a lot and give Monkey a lot to respond to so that Monkey gets ridiculous behind in chat. If Monkey is ridiculously behind in chat, often that is a good sign that Monkey is enjoying all of your comments, by the way. Even though I apologize that I am so behind. But on the other hand, Monkey also appreciates people who just like to come by and vibe and listen and, you know, Monkey stands lurkers and such too. So please feel free to consume Monkey content however you like. I almost said consume monkey, but please do not feel free to consume monkey. That's no good. Do not eat the monkey. Monkey is not for eating. Incredible. It's a difficult word for monkey. My fantasy recommendations are still probably the Stormlight Archives. Alright, you mentioned these before. Stormlight Archives, Mistborn, and the rest of the Cosmere. I also quite like Wheel of Time. Oh, Wheel of Time. I see. I will make note of these for now. Truth be told though, back in the day, science fiction and fantasy were quite intertwined. Science fantasy is a pretty interesting subgenre. You know, Shatter, I still think of them as quite intertwined. At first when I started getting into science fiction and fantasy, I didn't really understand why they're always grouped together, right? Because science fiction and fantasy are at the point where they've developed a strong sense of their own tropes, right? Things like aliens and space travel and that sort of thing on the sci-fi side, and things like Tolkien-style elves and dwarves and magic on the fantasy side. But in the end, these are still just two subgenres of either side. And if you look at sci-fi and fantasy as a whole, you start to really understand where they start to come together in a way and blur the line. Rather than a subgenre, I would say science fantasy is more like the border between science fiction and fantasy, in my opinion. Because a lot of sci-fi, actually a great example of this, in my opinion, is from that short story collection Exhalation, one of the first stories, I think the first story in that collection, is written in such a way where anyone can read it, and you might think, this is just a classic fantasy style story. This is straight up like old style fantasy. Almost like a fable. But if you know the science, while you're reading it, you're like, this is cute. This is sort of a fable tale. No. Are they dealing with... I know what that is. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Oh, I see. And the story becomes that much richer because you know the real world science that was incorporated into it. And so I actually found that I really enjoyed that story. But when I had one of my parents who is not so much, actually two of my parents who are not so much, don't know too much about certain scientific theories and stuff that aren't really up their alley. In terms of basically space-time theory. They don't really know much about that. Not very interested, I guess. But because of that, they were just like, that was cute, I guess. It was a cute, stylistic piece. As like an exercise in writing in that style, and it was a good piece. But me and my bro who was with me at the time, who are kind of science geeks. Not 100%, like we're not all the way. Oh, actually, my bro might be, but science geek enough. We were listening to it on audiobook at the time. That's why there were. I should have clarified. We were listening to it as an audiobook altogether. And our parents were like, yeah, that was cute. And the entire time, me and my bro, we kept exchanging glances, being like, it's that! You get it? You get it? That's so cool! This is such a great idea! I love it! And so, I guess what I'm getting at is that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. I think that's Kurt Vonnegut. I'm not sure. I never actually read the book that quotation is from, but it's one of my favorite quotations. Something that I've been meaning to write a story around for a really long time, to be honest. One day. But it's a really good quotation, and so that shows a little bit the blurring of the line between science and fantasy in a fiction point of view, right? Because depending how you write something, it could be science fiction or it could be fantasy. The line isn't so clear. Like, when does it start being fantasy? Because there's a lot of... I went to a really good talk once on the science of science fiction. And they were talking about how there are different levels of science fiction, right? There's science fiction that only uses concrete things that we know about the real world and puts those together in the most technical way possible. And that is very difficult to write because you're trying to come up with new things that could exist in the world without breaking any of the world's rules. But can be very interesting. On the other side of the spectrum, they have something that they called hand-wavium. It's when you're like, yes, and they traveled faster than the speed of light. Because they have a special warp drive. Yep, special warp drive lets them travel faster than the speed of light. Time dilation. What do you mean? Don't worry about time dilation. The warp drive handles that too. There's no time dilation. We just go fast, okay? The story says that we need to go fast, so we're going fast. And all science fiction kind of falls somewhere on this spectrum, right? Somewhere between like nitty-gritty hard science we employ some hand-wavium here and there to make things work and enjoyable. And I think everything along this spectrum can be a lot of fun. All of it is real sci-fi. But if you start employing any amount of hand-wavium, how can you say that it's not, in a way, fantasy, right? Because fantasy worlds can have very intricate systems that are complete and consistent within themselves, that just don't match up with the real world. And so, couldn't you say that aspect of sci-fi is fantasy, right? In the same way, if you have a fantasy book, but it uses some real-world science in it, then is it not also sci-fi? And how can you write a fantasy book without some real-world science, right? Without any real-world science, it'd be completely surreal. People could be like floating off the ground and stuff if there's no gravity. And so rather than sci-fi and fantasy as separate genres that come together, it's almost like this big atomic cloud. You know the electron cloud in an atom? Where it's like the electron is probably somewhere in this area. When you first learn about atoms, right, they tell you the electron orbits the nucleus, right? But eventually, when you get to more and more deeper models, it's just like, well, it's probably somewhere around here. We have a probabilistic gradient of where the electron probably is at any point in time. And so, sci-fi and fantasy is like a sci-fi fantasy cloud. Your position within that cloud could be, you know, closer to the sci-fi area or closer to the fantasy area. But either way, you know, you're in there somewhere. That might be a weird analogy. And then also, if we're taking them at base principles, no one said that all fantasy has to be Tolkien style. It got really popular because of Lord of the Rings and Dungeons and Dragons, but not all fantasy has to be like that at all. There's all kinds of fantasy out there that doesn't use Tolkien style elves, for example. Or anything Tolkien style at all. A good example is I recently saw a Silkpunk animated short story about the Hulijing. Actually, that ended up being sci-fi as well. Bad example. Don't worry about it. There's plenty of anime out there, for example, that you might consider fantasy that doesn't use Tolkien style fantasy, for example. And similarly, sci-fi, a lot of my favorite sci-fi don't follow the main sci-fi tropes that you might see. They're a little more like, you know how Star Trek has a lot of different kinds of episodes? And some episodes are like, oh yeah, we're going to the star system and we're gonna deal with, you know, the spacey stuff. And then some of them are like, we're going to go down to this planet. They are having political issues because they are a genetically engineered society that blah-de-blah-de-blah. I like that kind. I like that kind of thinky sort of communal, societal sort of take on sci-fi. Like Gwyn does a lot of that. The sort of like, what if there was a society like this? Then what would happen? So there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, I think I've gotten far enough on this tangent. I should probably keep going. Cha-cha. You heard it here first. 天使 is hot. Eh? Eh? No. 天使 has a very high temperature right now. High ambient temperature around 天使 that is creating sensations of heat in 天使 body. Clarification. Oh dear. I do love me some science fantasy. Oh, Is that a term people are using these days, actually? Because if so, I'm very curious to check it out because the implication to me is that it has both strong sci-fi elements as well as strong fantasy elements, which does sound like fun. Sounds like fun. Kind of similar to the thing I was talking about, like the Hulijing. That being said, Hulijing are real, so I guess that's a bad example. Can you type that manga name out? Hoseki no Kuni. Oh yes, that's the one. That's the one. Thank you so much, Shatter. Very helpful. Thanks. C.S. Lewis, Lovecraft, Douglas Adams, with my fourth being Lord Dunsany. Oh, I knew the first three, but I don't actually know the last one. Oh, let's see. C.S. Lewis, I have read a little bit of C.S. Lewis, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right? I read that series, the Narnia series. I don't know if I read all the books. I read some of them. And I also read Many Waters, I think, by C.S. Lewis a long, long time ago. Lovecraft, I still need to read. But his writing style is very flowy. I don't know how to call it. I read a little bit like excerpts. Seems interesting. I remember you've recommended me before which of his works you recommend. Douglas Adams. That's the one with Hitchhiker's Guide, right? I don't know what else he's written, but I'm curious. And Lord Dunsany. Have to check him out. Sounds like you like a lot of very classic authors as well. Excuse me. The monkey noises are part of the TNC experience. They are very much appreciated by all of us here. That's good, Ryder. Does Monkey really make a lot of noises? I've been told that I do. Speaking of science fantasy, I was surprised when I read the original Conan stories by Robert E. Howard. Whole lot of space stuff in there. Conan stories. I'm guessing we're not talking about Meitante Conan. We're not talking about Detective Conan, the little boy genius, right? Robert E. Howard. Space stuff, huh? Interesting. In one story, there's an alien elephant man. There's a race of giants that turn people into Funko Pop figurines and everything. What? Wow! What is this? That's really interesting. Oh, interesting. Older editions of D&D were also science fantasy. Oh! Numerous scenarios involved either heading to different planets or dealing with extraterrestrial beings. You can even find the cast of Star Trek. Eh? Wait, they did a Star Trek crossover with D&D? That's awesome! That's really awesome! Oh, that sounds like fun. I appreciate that. I like that a lot. It's like with role-playing, everyone thinks it has to be like Tolkien style because of D&D. So there's a lot of Tolkien style role-playing out there. But Monkey really likes the things that take a sort of a different take on it. How you say, Fiasco, which can have almost any theme you want, honestly. But it's kind of based around this idea of kind of a heist falling apart sort of scenario. I can't remember what they called it. And then there's dialect, which is based around just language, and so it also can be any scenario. They have some sci-fi scenarios, but there's other ones as well. And One of my bros likes what is it called though? Oh no, this really surreal role-playing game where concepts are people. Like Monday's just a guy, and Tuesday's another one. Very interesting. I think it's called something Invisible Sun or something like that. I like that role playing. Is you can take it in a lot of different ways, and even with standard D&D, a friend of mine ran a sci-fi campaign, full-on sci-fi campaign. Hello. Barbie. Here's where Barbie entered. I see. Hello, Barbie. Welcome. I apologize for my massive delays. How are you doing today, Barbie? Hitchhiker's Guide is one of the books I have most fun reading ever. It is a lot of fun, right? If you take it the right way, I guess. If you come at it thinking of it as think of it like stand-up. Like you're watching a stand-up routine. Someone's telling you the story. It's even kind of written like that. The tone of the writing is very conversational, just like a stand-up routine. So kind of read it like a stand-up comedy show, and it'll be a lot of fun, I think. If it's your kind of humor. Looks like I need to give it a second whirl. Not the first time I go into something with the wrong expectation and it suffers massively for it. But I actually like them with the right mindset later. Yeah. I know what you mean, Ryder. I know what you mean. The same thing happened to me multiple times with multiple different things. For example, Eva. Actually, Evangelion is one that happened to me for. What else? Lots of things though, lots of things. And there are things where I've seen other people do that too, where I'm like, I recommend this, and then they go into it with the wrong intent, wrong, how you say, expectations, and I'm like, wait, hold on, stop. I'm like, I don't know about this one. I'm like, hold on, let me explain. Yeah, so it happens to all of us. My favorite line is, being teleported is a lot like being drunk. What's wrong with that? Ask a glass of water. Yeah. That's a great one, Remus. That's a great one. This is what I mean by linguistics jokes, too. I'm glad you said it and not me, because Monkey would totally mess it up. Linguistics jokes really require you to do the setup well in order to set up the expectation so that the punchline pays out. And that's one thing I think they do really well in the book, is they set up an expectation of what you think they're talking about, and then they say something else and you're like, oh. What's wrong with being drunk? Ask a glass of water. I like it. Thank you, Remus. Hope you're doing well now. Hi, Monkey. Oh, thank you, Barbie. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty well. As you can see by my massive, my massively being behind on chat. I am very much enjoying this, relaxing chatting stream. And I hope that is alright with all of you. I quite enjoy it. Barbie. Cuckoo shatter ghoulie. See, this is why I happened to glance over at the there's one window where I cannot see what the most recent chats are, and there is one window where I can. And I happened to glance over there and I saw all of these Barbies in chat. Who could that be? Earth to Monkey. Are you in present yet? Is this some sort of litmus test, Hiki? Just peppering some things throughout to see how far behind Monkey is. Oh dear. Not yet, Hiki. But hello from the past? Hello from the future? I don't know which one is which. Monkey's no good with time. From the now. Hello to you in the past. Let me guess, you're one of Nin channel, right? Oh, hello. Huh? I apologize. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to read your name forwards or backwards. Artoria Altea Saber. Artoria Altea Saber. Oh, Saber. Okay, I'm guessing I'm supposed to read your name forwards. Okay, I assume it's forwards until you tell me otherwise. You mind if I call you Saber? I also apologize for only getting to your message. Maybe half an hour late. I apologize, I'm behind. But welcome to the TNCT Club. I guess you could say that. Min-chan is a very well-loved member of the TNCT Club who frequents a lot of times, and I like Min-chan a lot. She's nice. I like her. Time machine for sure. No, it's cute. Oh, I don't know about that, Professor Fu. Maybe baby no is cute. Thank you. You're one of Lin-chan's friends, right? Yeah. Take your time now, dearest. Oh, thank you, Barbie. Thank you. I appreciate that. Maybe because milk gets old very quickly, so not all cultures manage to store. Besides the ability to make animals produce milk, such as the artificial impregnation, not sure how it's called, must not also be easy to do. These are some good points, Hiki. Some good points. I would not be surprised if that contributed to why it wasn't very common in other places. Some people postulate that drinking the milk of other animals is not too strange in the world, and preserving it is not too bad, because you can make cheese and stuff, and that'll preserve it for a lot longer. But cheese already has less lactase in it than fresh milk, and yogurt and stuff. A lot of cultures have cheese and yogurt, but don't drink fresh milk. But having the right kind of animal that you can domesticate for milk is also something not usual. It might have something to do with, for example, cow's milk being the popular one in Europe, right? Cows were being domesticated already for other reasons than milk. And so maybe people started drinking milk that way. Like a lot of mountainous cultures had yaks, and they had yak's milk that they made into things like yak's milk butter. There's actually a famous tea. Where is it from again? Is it Tibet? Where they drink tea with yak's milk in it? I haven't tried it myself, but it sounds interesting. But they put in yak's milk butter specifically. So they have some dairy product here and there. But because of the lactose intolerance, probably very few people, like you said, thought it was worth the effort to go through and do all the things you have to do to have a steady flow of milk. It is believed that maybe one of the reasons why Europeans started drinking so much milk is because the climate made it very hard to acquire nutritious foods, and milk can be very nutritious. It has a lot of good stuff in it, even if it's not the milk from your own particular kind of mammal species. It can still have a lot of overlap of good stuff for you, right? Lots of protein and vitamins and calories. And so it's possible that people started drinking milk in those areas because they were needing to get those nutrients and vitamins and stuff that were hard to get elsewhere for whatever reason. But no one's really sure. No one's really sure. Getting some snacks. Getting some snacks ready. Na has had a long journey to the present. Oh, mooncakes and tea. That's good, Satu. Snacks are great. It kind of makes me feel happy to know that some of you have tea and snacks while hanging out during these tea club meetings. It makes me feel kind of good inside. For me, drinking tea and having snacks and stuff like that is like an activity you do that if you do it with other people, it feels a lot nicer. Doing it alone is already nice, but doing it with other people is even nicer. So I like to think it's nice if we all have snacks and things. Every lactose-intolerant person I've met has been a risk taker with their gastrointestinal system, and I will never ever be able to understand. But Professor Paul, if I don't know if you're lactose intolerant or not, but I feel like I understand, because can you imagine a life without cheese? A life without ice cream? I don't want these things to go away in my life. I need my whipped cream and my mozzarella and my vanilla bean ice cream. To be fair, different types of milk product will have less lactose in it. Like, you can actually have Yakult, the yogurt drink. I don't think that has lactose in it, though. I'm not sure. Depending. And a lot of cheeses, the more processed they are, the less lactose they have in them. But I do know some people who are so sensitive to lactose that even cheese will set them off. Even like highly processed and aged cheese, it will give them massive stomach upset. But those people, they're like, I'm not giving up cheese. I'm just gonna take a pill before I have to eat cheese. And I kind of understand that. Monkey is very lucky that, as far as I know, I don't have any real food restrictions. If I have any amount of lactose intolerance, it's very minor. It doesn't cause any sort of like pain or discomfort. So I'm just like, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's all good. Good enough. If I did have a stronger reaction to it, maybe I would, worry about it a bit more. But since it's light, it's fine. It's fine. I need my cheese. I need my ice cream. I need my creme fraiche. Guilty. Is that you, Barbie? Are you like that too? Risk-taking with the gastrointestinal. Warning, do not consume monkey. Warning, yeah, do not consume monkey. Thank you, Cuckoo. Please do not consume monkey. can't consume monkey content, but I love watching her videos. I'm sad now. JK. No. Monkey content okay. Monkey content okay. Just not monkey myself. We don't consume the monkey. We let the monkey consume us. No. Monkey doesn't eat tea club members. This is not some sort of Hansel and Gretel story. Monkey is not visiting the human realms to collect humans for a tasty stew or anything like that. It's a tea club. Tea club. Nothing suspicious. It's so hot here that my headphones are actually melting my ears. Help! Oh no! No! Barbie, your ears are important. Oh no! Barbie, no! Are you okay? Are you okay? Barbie, you're on the southern hemisphere, right? So it's just gonna get hotter from here, is that right? Oh no! I've never been in Brazil for summer, so I don't know much what it's like. I only went in the winter, which actually is quite nice by non-Brazil standards. The winter in Brazil is kind of like the summer in other places, so not so bad. But I wonder that it must get very hot when summer rolls around. No melting or consuming. No melting. Barbie, please don't melt. Please be okay. I know. What's all the mooncakes about? Neru-senpai! Hello! Welcome! I'm sorry I missed your entrance earlier. I am very far behind, chat. I'm very far behind. But it's good to see you. Hopefully you're still around. The mooncakes are because today, or yesterday, depending on your time zone, is the Moon Festival. The Mid-Autumn Festival. So mooncake. In order to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival, for today's stream, we are doing a just chatting stream where we sit and we drink tea and we munch on mooncakes or whatever snacks you've got. So I brought my own mooncakes. I may have gotten too many, but it's okay because you can never have too many mooncakes, right? Also, I'd love to read a story Nao wrote. Oh, oh, that's. I've been meaning to get back into writing, honestly, but it's a little embarrassing to publish anything. But if you're interested, maybe if there's interest, I might think about it. I'll think about it. Now writing hype. Oh, oh, thank you. Maybe. Maybe I'll give it a try. That's why I love me some good old Star Trek. Star Trek is good. I started watching Star Trek only a few years ago now, I think. Maybe a couple years ago. I don't remember when I started. But I started with the Next Generation. That's all I've been watching so far, but I think I'm on like season 6 or something by now. It's been a lot of fun. And I understand also now, when I first started watching it, there's actually a lot of Trekkies in my family. You might say I saw Star Trek when I was a baby monkey and I walked in on other family members watching it, but I never really stayed around much to watch along with them. I mostly fell asleep because that's how baby monkey was. I fell asleep a lot. So I never really watched it myself until recently. But I've been watching it through now, and it, with one of my brothers who was one of the Trekkies. And he was telling me, yeah, the first ones in this season or in this generation, they're okay. They're okay. But you know, it really gets good when Riker grows a beard. That's like a whole idiom now. When your show grows a beard, apparently that's an idiom that came from Star Trek. And I was like, huh, well, alright. I don't know, it's kind of fun. It's kind of cute. Kind of a product of its time. I'm enjoying it, you know. Didn't really see exactly what he meant. But then... But then Riker grew his beard and I was like, whoa. And it wasn't a stepwise function either. I feel like the show got gradually better, up until that point where it crossed some sort of threshold into, like, from, like, yeah, entertaining, interesting, to, oh, now you're dealing with some interesting stuff here. Oh my goodness. And they just kept getting better and better from there. And it's fun to see different... I believe each episode has, like, different directors and stuff. They kind of rotate through, and so seeing the different directorial styles and the different kinds of stories they like to take on and what they like to explore. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. Trying to figure out which generation to watch next after the next generation. That one's really good. I've been recommended maybe Deep Space Nine to watch next. We'll see. Fantasy such as ancient Japan stories, they fight yokai. Yeah. An easy way to find non-Tolkien fantasy is just go to other cultures. Tolkien fantasy is based very strongly on Norse mythology, so even if you go to, say, Greek mythology and other Western mythologies, you can get a lot of fantasy out of that. But especially if you go to other philosophies, other societies that had very little contact with European heritage stories, then you'll definitely get different types, different types of fantasy. Something tells me Tianshi would love Mass Effect lore. Learning about all the races is a joy in itself. You know, I've actually had Mass Effect recommended to me for that kind of reason. Because it does play, I'm told, a little bit like a VN at times. But I don't know enough about it to know whether or not it's my kind of game in general. Genshin has a very high temp... Hello? Excuse me, hello. Okay, I think we're back. I apologize. Disconnected for a little moment there. I apologize for the buffering. I think Internet Kun is also having trouble again today. But luckily it wasn't too big. It looked like. Monkey technical difficulty. Yeah. Welcome back. Thank you. Okay. What was I saying? Mass Effect. I have been recommended before. Oh, high temperature. Tianshi has a very high temperature. Her density got so high that the time does not move around the monkey. What do you thought of my sci-fi fantasy, JK? I like it, Enhiki. Sounds consistent and accurate. Maybe that's what it is. Monkey temperature... Well, Monkey became very dense. Monkey is rather dense after all, I will admit. Monkey very dense. Then therefore temperature got very high. And time dilation started happening. That's why Monkey's so behind. Not because Monkey is slow. No. Time dilation. That's why. That's why. I have to head out. Bye-bye. Oh, okay, Remus. Oh, I'm sorry. I probably am way too late to actually say goodbye to you. You're probably headed out already. But thank you so much for coming. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself and have a good rest of your day. Bye, Remus. Bye, Remus. This is the one saddest thing for Monkey about being so far behind is not being able to say hello and goodbye to people at the same time as they enter or leave. That does make Monkey a little sad. Enter the Barbie. Oh man. So at the same time Remus was leaving is the same time that I got to the part where Barbie entered. Well, that's an interesting coincidence, isn't it? I'm really enjoying it too hard. Oh, I'm glad, Cuckoo. I'm glad. This is for future now. Oh, heart monkey. Oh, thank you, Cuckoo. Thank you. Oh, you're too sweet. A life without cheese. All my favorite foods has cheese. I know, right, Hinky? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, almost everything can be improved with cheese. I feel the need for cheese. We have a need for cheese. Yeah. I can agree with that, Cuckoo. Lactose intolerance? Yes, I can understand. The thing that keeps me from eating mooncakes keeps me from eating many things. Oh, I see. I see, Professor Paul. Ah, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. Will still bully my lactose intolerant friends into responsibility with their guts. This is fair, Professor Paul. This is fair. It's very kind of you to look after their health, actually. It's important. Yeah. Oh man, I have a friend who is allergic to like basically everything. I don't even know. He's allergic from everything from like milk to beef to like all sorts of other random things. It's the most unfortunate thing I have ever heard of because Monkey likes food so much. I don't know how I would live. And when I say allergic to milk, I mean he's not lactose intolerant. He is literally allergic to milk. It's like the histamines in his body are like, nope, foreign objects, nope, we don't want those in here. Get them out of here. Get those things out of here. No foreign objects. Keeping this place clean. And so, I think he's allergic to lots of things. And so, when he gets pizza, I'm not even sure what he gets. He likes pizza, but he gets very special pizza. Luckily, a lot of food substitutes, like milk substitute foods, like vegan cheeses and stuff, they're starting to get better. They're starting to get better to the point where they may not be exactly cheesy, but they're at least tasty, you know? And we're getting to that point. So I think there's still tasty foods in this world that he can eat, but I don't know what they are. Seems like a lot to keep track of, but he seems to be doing well, so I guess that's good. Lullaby hype. I feel like it's been a while since I've gotten to say that too, because we haven't heard the whole playlist in a while. The lore deepens. now is out to eat us all. And yet somehow I'm fine with this. No. Don't worry, Monkey's not eating anyone. No. Nor is Monkey planning to consume the world with endless clones or anything like that. In no sense of the word is Monkey going to consume any and the tea club or the world or anything like that. Don't worry about it. Wow. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I'm from Brazil. It's still winter, but we hit 37°C around here today. Wow. You can hit 37°C in winter? Wow. Oh man. Goodness, no wonder you're melting. Yeah. I feel like I shouldn't be complaining anymore now. Oh boy. I hope you have some ways to cool off. I wish Climate knew she doesn't have to change for anyone. Aww. It's okay, Climate. You're fine just the way you are. Yeah. Oh dear. Sleepy Monkey, living the slow life since birth. This may be true. Oh, 37°C is deadly. The most I've had to suffer was 38, and I thought I was melting. Yeah. Monkey's not really good at keeping track of temperature, to be honest, but I remember what it feels like to take a 38 to 40 degrees C bath. It's actually quite pleasant, but you can't stay in there longer than a few minutes without having to cool off. So, I don't know. I guess it depends a bit on humidity as well, but that sounds pretty deadly. I hope you're getting plenty of fluids and trying to keep cool somehow. Yeah, it is very Norse. Dwarves, there we go. Dwarves, elves, some at least. Giants, I think even trolls have Norse origins. Yeah, I've been told that Gandalf is based on Odin, for example. If you look at his aesthetics, actually, the way he looks in the grey robes with the big hat, that's clearly based on traditional depictions of Odin, actually. So there's a lot of crossover. It's really interesting. Or not crossover, influence, inspiration. Are we back? Oh, this is where we had some technical difficulties. Monkey, welcome back to the world. Thank you, Enhiki, thank you. It cooled a lot now that it's night. That's good. It's actually 22°C. But it feels like the heat is lingering inside my house. It's actually nice outside. Oh, I see. Is there a way to air out the house a bit? I know what you mean. Sometimes homes are very insulated and they hold on to the heat. Oh, Mass Effect is lots of zeros. Oh, lots of zeros. Not a monkey-friendly game. Oh, Just on more about each of the races. I would really recommend you hear the National Geographic-like voice explanation on each of the races. I like that idea. I wonder if anyone's done such a thing. Maybe I need to watch someone else play or something. Blah. Lingering heat still isn't fun. Yeah. Maybe open the window if you can, I don't know. I'm eating mooncake right now. Hello, Grotto stuff. Welcome to the TNCT Club. Mooncake, yes, it is mooncake time. Monkey got enough mooncakes to last like a week. And I'm not complaining. That Codex narration was something else, wasn't it, Ryder? Codex narration. Is that referring to the Mass Effect? So did someone actually do a narration? Because that'd be really cool. A friend of mine has a little brother that is allergic to animal protein. A natural-born vegan, pretty much. I wonder if that's what my friend has, actually. I never inquired too much. Because, I figure, you know, if he wants to talk about it, he'll talk about it. So he never really talked too much in detail about it. But maybe that's exactly what it was. An allergy to animal protein. Because I know he said he couldn't eat beef. And I think he said he also couldn't eat pork. And I don't remember if he said anything else. Natural-born vegan. He gets all sort of allergic reactions. Oh, I see. I am suddenly reminded of pandas. Pandas, technically, actually, they don't have an allergy to animal protein or anything like that. They can actually eat and digest meat. Just fine, no problem. But what I learned recently is their vegetarianism seems to have some sort of relation to the fact that they can no longer taste. Do you know the flavor umami? There's there's basic flavors like excuse me. There's basic flavors like salty, sweet, sour. And there's one that the Japanese have defined for a very long time that was recently accepted into Western academic literature as well, called umami. It's sort of a savory flavor, is how it's often described. If you want like the taste of like pure umami, like the pure salty taste comes from sodium chloride salt, right? And the pure umami taste, some people say, comes from monosodium glutamate salt. So that's also known as MSG. MSG has a bad rap because one person wrote an article once where he was like, I kinda had a stomachache after eating food. I don't know what it was. Could be anything. There was MSG in it, could be MSG, and then suddenly it took off and everyone was like, it's the MSG, oh my god, it makes you taste so... It makes you sick. I feel that too. Turns out it's probably not. A lot of studies on MSG have shown inconclusive results on whether or not it can give you any sort of... Like, whether or not there even exists an MSG sensitivity is the studies... Nothing has confirmed that anyone has real MSG sensitivity any more so than any other, like, very basic sensitivity you might have, I suppose. So MSG gets a bad rap. But it is also umami. It occurs naturally in fish and meat and seaweed and tomatoes. These all naturally have MSG, and that's where they get their savory flavor from. So adding MSG to things it enhances that particular flavor. And apparently pandas can't taste it. And so to them, meat is kind of like, whatever. I'm gonna keep eating my bamboo. At least, that's what I read recently on Wikipedia or something. That's our current hypothesis as to why pandas, even though they can eat meat, have not gone back to eating meat after they started eating bamboo. There's just no particular desire to do so, I guess. Okay, that was a real tangent. Oh my goodness. Petite cuckoo. I usually don't care much about those. I prefer to learn of more through conversations and the world, not in-game books or audio files. But ME Mass Effect did it right. So interesting and well narrated. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, so the Codex narration is actually part of Mass Effect itself? Maybe I should find some sort of compilation. Maybe I can go through the compilation and learn about it that way. Reminds me a little bit of all of the notes you can get in, how you say, Death Stranding. There's a lot of like different emails, I guess, that you can get, but say all sorts of interesting things. And there's like world building that happens just within those emails and research notes. It's a lot of fun. When you're allergic to so many foods that you have to learn to feed through photosynthesis. Man, I wish I could do photosynthesis. I mean, I love eating, so people don't understand when I say this sort of thing. I'm not saying I want to stop eating. I just want to be able to survive in a way that allows me to eat on my own schedule. I would also like if everything I ate did not necessarily... So, it would be great if I got all of my energy from photosynthesis, and anything I ate that was over the amount that my body needs just doesn't do anything, I guess. But when I put it that way, it sounds a little bit wasteful. I'll have to think about this. But photosynthesizing seems really convenient. They actually do photosynthesize in what is it called? There was that anime, one of the first few anime that Netflix poured money into. Knights of Sidonia. In Knights of Sidonia, they photosynthesize. Lullaby hype? Yeah, lullaby hype. Happening at the same time as Gymno Pity number 3 is playing. Well, not at the same time. In the past. 30-minute warning as well. Oh my goodness. Oh my, look at the time. You are right. Well, I mean, you were right at the time that you said it. And now we are at more of a 18-minute warning. Which actually means I'm not too far behind. I seem to be catching up a little bit, actually. Maybe y'all are helping me out or something. Alright, I guess it's time to speed up a little bit. Speed monkey. Fewer tangents, fewer, how you say, meandering thoughts. Even though this is one of them. I will try to catch up so that we can at least be all together when Monkey has to say goodbye. Alright. Thank you for the warning, Shatter. Oat milk is pretty good in my opinion. Oh, I still need to try oat milk. One of my siblings really likes it. She has trouble drinking soy milk, actually. She has no trouble with, like, tofu or other soy products, but soy milk, for whatever reason, she has trouble with. But she likes oat milk. I gotta try it. Soy milk is probably my favorite non-animal-based milk. It's so good. So good. We don't get snow here. Last year, it didn't even get cold where I live. That's life in Brazil. Oh. It didn't even get cold. Wow. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know much about snow myself. I've never lived in a place where snow really happens. I've been to places where snow happens, but I've never lived in a place where snow happens. So, yeah, I don't know. That sounds cold. We did get some in the south. Oh, some snow in the south. Oh, really? I did not know that it actually snows in Brazil at all. Oh. That's probably more like a 20-minute warning by the time she reaches. Yeah. You're exactly right, Ryder. Perfect prediction right there. still very helpful. Actually, especially helpful to do it 30 minutes out because I'm so far behind. New directive. Bring snow to Brazilian Tea Club members. We'll put it in a box or something. Ship it down there. Usually when there's news such as snowed somewhere, everyone here gets scared the world might end. I understand. No snow, please. I can't handle all that cold. Can I have some snow, Po? I've never seen it. You've never seen it, Chatter. We need to go get you some snow. Oh, I just realized. I haven't lived anywhere permanently with snow, but I just recently actually was able to experience the experience of having snow happening in a place where I was visiting relatives. So it felt like kind of like being at home, you know, being somewhere residential, everyday sort of place, you know, rather than something like a ski resort or something like that where you go there to find the snow. It's kind of a fun experience. It didn't snow too hard, so we didn't have to do anything like snow plowing, so it was just very pretty. We gotta take you to Snow Shatter. It's gonna happen. We gotta see it. You gotta see it at least once. There must not be a lot of prep for snow days there, huh? Yeah. Directive addendum. Bring snow to Shatter as well. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Hashtag love Po. Yeah. Love Po. It's a joy everyone deserves at least once. And maybe not more than that, because I have heard that if you've been in heavy snow areas, if you've lived in heavy snow areas long enough, the beginning you're like, it's beautiful. Later on you're like, what a pain. That's what I've heard. So let's keep it in the it's beautiful category. Our houses don't have heating systems. When it gets cold, you can feel it like coming from the walls. If it snowed, I'm pretty sure we'd die. Oh man. Oh man, you're probably right, Barbie. That makes a lot of sense, because you don't really need heating systems where you are, right? I know that kind of thing. I've lived in places where it was the opposite, actually. They had heating systems, but no AC. Hashtag love Tianxin. Hashtag love Tianxin. What's this all of a sudden? Thank you, Professor Po. Thank you, Chat. I don't understand. That's where electric blankets and snuggling comes in. I like the way you think. Professor Po. Yeah, it was at the same relative's house, where I was staying, where it was cold and snowy, that I used electric blankets for the first time, and they are incredible and amazing and perfect for when it is cold. It is incredible. And snuggles, of course. Can't have a monkey get together without snuggles. Snuggling in this economy? Eh? What do you mean, Barbie? I'll snuggle you right now, Barbie. Do not test me. Oh, snuggles. I've also heard that the dwarves from The Hobbit were actually a very nerdy joke from Tolkien. Really? Apparently huge lists of characters without much characterization was a trope in Old Norse literature. You're telling me Tolkien was memeing? He was doing those Norse memes of, yeah, here's a character. Nope, we're not gonna talk about him. I might be wrong, don't quote me on that. I see. No worries, I like the idea though, I like it. The The Codex is an in-game encyclopedia with tons of lore on the Mass Effect universe, and most of it is narrated by an excellent voice actor. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm sure they have some sort of compilation somewhere. Mass Effect itself has a narration of the text of information called Codex, and it sounds just like something you'd hear in National Geographic. Space Geographic. Nice, nice. I like it, I like it. The whole stream has been time travel. We've been in the machine all along. You're right, Professor Paul. Maybe I like the time machine so much because Monkey exists in time travel. Hey, I'm actually close to catching up. I think this is all thanks to you guys though, huh? Are y'all helping me out right now so I can catch up? I appreciate it. I hadn't thought of it being a meme. Yeah, it's a meme. I know. Hello, Dragon the Hedgehog. It's been a little while. Welcome. We've only got less than 10 minutes left in stream, unfortunately, but I'm glad to have you. I'm glad you could drop by. Gasp. Have we finally caught up? Almost, Shatter, almost. You caught up now. I did. We've met you in the present now. Welcome. Thank you. I am here. We are together now. Oh, wonderful. It's good to see all of you in your present incarnations. Yeah, I know it's been a while. Yeah. It's good. It's good. Monkey cannot words today. It's good to see you again. Somehow you always manage at the end. Is this because I have some secret support behind the scenes? Y'all helping me out? Now, I was wondering, do you read comments? Oh, I do try to read comments. At first, I was trying to reply to all of them as well, but I kind of wasn't able to fit that into my schedule anymore. But I still try to read all of them. I think so far I've read all the comments that I've ever received so far. So, I'm trying my best to at least keep up with that. So, even if you don't see me responding, I may have read it already. It may take me a little while to get to it, but I probably will read your comments. I just haven't had the time to be able to respond anymore. She's here, victory theme! I even heard fireworks outside, and I'm not joking. What a coincidence. Wow! Wow, Ayuki. I guess they know. No, she doesn't. She ignores us all. Oh dear, Ryder. I think dragon means, YouTube comments. You know, the ones that go under the video. Rather than chat messages that go in the chat box. It did take me a moment, because I'm used to thinking of chat box messages as comments as well. But technically in YouTube nomenclature, they're different. I guess one of my neighbors is a member of the Tea Club. I guess so, Ehiki. I guess so. It's a secret monkey technique. Huh? Secret monkey technique. My special time slow down, time speed up. She ignores all of us who don't give donations. Monkey wants the money or flesh. Or flesh! But in that case, your body will be fit to her, JK. Hey, Hiki, you're coming up with some scary things. No. Monkey does not need your money, and Monkey does not need your flesh. You can keep both of those things. Dear. Oh. Ryder is correct. We're all abandoned out here in the rain. Very cruel. So lonely. Oh no! Oh no, Professor Paul, I'm sorry. So sad. That's such a sad image. No. Oh dear. We have each other at least. Oh, well, that's good though. I'm glad you have each other. Oh dear, oh dear. Thank you for the stream, Tianxin. Oh, it is that time, isn't it? 5 minutes left to go. I guess it's about time we start wrapping it up, huh? Putting a bow on it. Thank you for the stream, Tianxin. Always lovely. Glad I could be here for this time. I'm glad you could be here too, Ryder. It's been a little while since we had a nice long just chatting stream, right? It's very nice. I enjoy it. See you next time. See you next time, Ryder. Take care. Be well. You too. Hashtag love Tianxin. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ryder. I'll see you next time. Have a good night. Sweet dreams. Muchas gracias por el stream, mi amiga. Oh, thank you, Wifers. Also, hello. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. All of our messages will never be read by her. Will be lost like tears in the rain. Oh, oh no. Oh dear. Thank you for sharing your lovely thoughts with us once again now. Oh, take care. Go hearts, my shoe. Thank you, Barbie. Oh, you take care as well. I don't know about lovely thoughts, but I'm glad y'all are so willing and happy to listen to Monkey rambling on like this. I had fun. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for the stream, oh wise moon monkey. Wise moon monkey. I like it. I am not a wise moon monkey, but I like it though. Thank you. And thank you for coming, Cuckoo. It was lots of fun chatting. Thanks for the stream though. It was very fun, even if you took 2 hours to reach us. Have a nice sleep and week. We love you. Hashtag love Tianxin. Oh, thank you, Enhiki. You have a great week too. Oh dear. Hashtag love Tianxin. Oh. Thank you, Coco. Oh dear. Thank you. Thank you for a lovely chatting time now. Oh, thank you, Professor Paul. It's always fun chatting with you as well. It was a fun time with everyone. Have a good rest of your night. You deserve it. Oh, thank you. Hashtag love Tianxin. Oh, thank you. You have a great rest of your night as well. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And happy Moon Festival. Thank you very much for the stream now. It was nice to have a chatting stream again. Yeah, it's been a little while, huh? Enjoy your mooncakes. Thank you, Shatter. I will. Hashtag love Tianxin. Thank you. Joker Heart Monkey. Thank you. Oh. Thank you so much. Potatoes for now. One of those potatoes looks a little less edible than the rest, but I still accept it is a valid potato. Thank you, Enhiki. One of these things just doesn't belong. One of these things is not like the others. One of these things does not belong. Wait, more sharing of the brain cell is happening. That's good. Sharing is caring. We think alike, Cuckoo. Yeah. It may be the sweet potato that don't belong there. JK. It's true. The sweet potato's a little more orange. The other potatoes are more brown. Yeah. All potatoes are valid. All potatoes are valid. Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at the time. Looks like we're just about at time, so... bye-bye, Tianxin. Bye-bye, Ryder. And bye-bye, everyone. Yeah. Yeah, so, Monkey has to say goodbye now. But thank you so much, all of you, for such a wonderful Moon Festival celebration. I hope you have some snacks and beverage of your choice that you enjoy, and that you get the chance, whether tonight or another night, to take a nice good look at the beautiful round moon that we have right now. And yes. Thank you all so much for making this celebration a really, really wonderful and fun time. Bye-bye, see you Thursday. Yeah, I'll see you Thursday, best squid. Bye-bye, Professor Paul. Okay, and with this meeting of the Tianshi Tea Club is now officially adjourned. Thank you all again so much. I had a wonderful time. I hope you did too. And I guess it's time to say bye bye.